Well, my name's Greg, and welcome to my shop. Tonight, I'm going to be working on a Carter 2150 Holley single barrel carburetor placement. This is aftermarket, and it fits the same basic inline 6-cylinder motor that is found in pretty much every Ford since the 60s. Chiefly popular in the 69 Mustangs because they're lighter cars and it's pretty powerful. I have one in an old Fairmont, which is a land yacht, and it's not exactly fast. Now, the original Ford carburetors are covered in all this DEQ stuff, which is the Department of Environmental Quality. And a lot of it's electronic, and a lot of it likes to fail. Now, this right here that you see I have kind of very uncleverly plugged off in probably the most redneck fashion you could imagine, goes to a fuel bowl vent solenoid. What's that, you say? It takes gas vapors from the tank and shoves them into the carburetor, and in my opinion isn't really effective at much of anything. But the people making laws thought it was. Over here you've got your basic electric choke. Holds this. This right here is your vacuum advance guy that pulls the throttle open when it's like you're really hitting the motor. You can see it. The choke's not quite adjusted right, but in a perfect world, it would pull. In a perfect world, it would pull this back because it would be more like that. Basically, the two things I wanted to cover, well, three. These are very awkward to adjust, and not just because of all the electronic stuff. The very first thing, and the most common mistake people make, is they think that this idle air control screw right here is actually the throttle. Because, as you tighten it out, it'll push the throttle open and open. However, what it'll do is it'll cause this idle air plate to stick completely shut like that. Now, you want it to stop in one of these notches, depending on the vehicle and application, how you want to tune your carburetor for power or economy or different weather conditions. You know, you don't want a very fast idle in California, but if you live in Alaska, you're going to want that motor to stay warm when you go, in the store to buy soda. And this screw is the actual throttle screw. It hits a plate coming through on this side. Right there. And we'll push the entire apparatus like this. Now, pushing that pulls this butterfly valve open, which, as you can see, leads to the outside world. That's where air and fuel come in. The faster this is open, the more air and fuel the carburetor shoves down this cute little hole. Now, probably the most important adjustment, and this is just in my opinion, is this little screw right here. It's easy to set the throttle, it's easy to set the idle air. The hard part is getting the fuel to air mixture right, because these old carbs with these old motors, it's by feel, there's no science to it. And even when they're new, you just kind of tweak it per application. And it's been my experience that, especially with the way these carburetors get gummed up, is you're always running too heavy on your air to fuel ratio, and you end up like sucking these all the way out and just letting fuel or air hammer in, and it brings the idle up and blah 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 blah. And it's not a very happy car, but it'll run. That's basically it for these old Holley 2150s. Obviously, ideally, you'd want a 2-barrel, where it'd have 2 of these choke plates and be twice as big, or a 4-barrel, but we all can't live in the fantasy land up on Knob Hill. Thanks for watching.